And we're live with the Chester Sky Show. Today's guest, we have Tag, fellow music producer, programmer, cool dude. What's up?
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we're talking about Black Friday deals, and I got Nintendo games. I got a Nintendo Switch. That's I don't know if you've seen the Switch.
Yeah, I used to have one, but I moved out and my roommate kept it.
Oh, sorry. Should have kept it. No, I got the game Gris, which I just started playing today, and kind of got hooked on it. It's a game where you have this character who can only do two things. The character can walk, it can jump, and it can become more heavy. And that's the only abilities.
Do you fall through the wherever you were at? Or?
Fall through things. Occasionally you jump. And the whole game, there's no dialogue. It's just walking through very strange. It's almost like a maze, but it's usually going up and down. So it's constantly dealing with weird gravity situations.
Do you fall on a spring or something?
Yeah, that kind of thing. And then there was the one game that was really cool called Sublimity. Sublimity? I don't know if you played Portal.
Yeah, I played Portal.
So this is like Portal if instead of portals you had optical illusions. Okay. So it's pretty sick.
So you can do more than just teleport. You can do. So there's I can't picture it.
I know it's really hard to explain. Instead of teleporting, every puzzle is you have to look at it from a weird way, and when you look at it from the weird way, then it gets solved. So, for example, if you there's this dynamic where if you see I'm holding a phone here, and if I hold this phone at this position, and it appears to be big, whereas now it appears to be small, right? From your perspective. So in the game, this is if you were now to get closer, it's actually huge.
Right.
The depth perception is completely wrong and everything. So it's kind of mind blowing, and you completely get you never really know what the size everything is supposed to be. Everything's big and small that shouldn't be that size, and as soon as you get closer, it's the wrong size again. I don't know, I highly recommend you check it out if you get a chance. I think they have it for PC as well.
Have you played any of the first party Nintendo games for it? My favorite that I played was Super Mario Odyssey. That game was awesome.
Yeah, I got. I haven't tried the Odyssey one. I bought the Super Mario U something. I don't know, whatever the Switch Mario.
Is it him and Luigi?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't played it yet. I just got that one.
I haven't played it, but.
And I got Luigi's Mansion, but I haven't tried that one yet either.
The Zelda one's supposed to be really, really good. I haven't played it though.
Oh, the Awakening one? I got that one.
Okay, yeah.
Or are you talking about the other one? There's two Zelda
ones. Breath of the whatever?
Yeah, I haven't tried that one.
I think maybe I'm talking the other one.
Yeah, the Awakening one's pretty good. It's really the design and the pictures and colors and everything are really nice. But I keep cheating because I keep getting stuck. So I'll just go on YouTube and look at the walkthrough. Okay, that's how you get to the boss. I could figure it out. It took too long.
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to feel guilty about that. Now I have no guilt. I'm gonna just not complete the level. No, I'm just gonna cheat.
Yeah, I mean, for a one-person game, it's just kind of what are you trying to prove?
Yeah, who am I trying to impress here? I don't understand. I was thinking about streaming, but I'm I don't know. Is there a benefit to doing that?
You probably have to be really good. I don't know. Does anybody stream one-person games? I thought the point of streaming is supposed to show how you're really good compared to other people.
The thing is, I've never played the game.
Or maybe, yeah. Or I guess if you're streaming a one-person game, maybe if you're just really funny, or you you knew all kinds of facts about the game you could talk about. Maybe that's cool. Streaming is kind of confusing in general to me.
Except I know nothing about the game.
Well, if you can tell jokes. You can tell jokes the whole time.
Yeah, I guess. Just for 2 hours of nonstop talking to myself, trying to be funny alone in a room.
Ultimate improv challenge.
Yeah, I guess if you get really good at it. I guess if you get really good at it, then
yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna play the game anyways, it doesn't hurt, I suppose. Like,
Yeah, I
it's
guess
not
so.
like you spend any more time. I don't know. Would you ever consider streaming when you're playing games?
I've streamed my music production. I haven't streamed. No, I barely play any games, so like that would be a huge step for me to start streaming myself playing games. I'd have to find the perfect game, but
you could do Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but that's like once you play it, you've played it. But like Mario Kart or something, maybe. But
I think it's better the first time you played it, though. Because if it's the first time, then you're like experiencing the excitement of the first time as well, right?
Yeah, like, but I guess if you were like really dominating like some random people on it, you could like, I don't know, maybe that's impressive. I don't know what people watch it for. Like, do they just watch it to be impressed by you game, or they want to be entertained? I guess it's different, like depending on the game and who it is. Because what I don't understand is like how like that one dude Ninja, he's like making bank doing it, but like isn't he just like he's just like a normal streamer like all the other people, right?
Yeah, there's a few people like that. They just, I guess PewDiePie sort of like that as well. He just plays the game, but somehow he's funny.
Yeah.
So
and he doesn't he upload like every single day?
Now he does.
Is his thing? Yeah, that's another big thing. If you can do that, but like I don't want to.
No, I got stuff I want to do.
Yeah.
I got things to do other than just to play video games.
That blows my mind, the people that like vlog every day and stuff like that.
But I got nothing else going.
Vlog maybe once every 5 months or something like that.
Yeah.
Most I can commit to.
But I mean, what else are they doing in the day? They must not be doing very much, right?
I guess. Well, I guess if you're going to become a daily vlogger, you have to kind of structure your life all around vlogging, right? So you can get all the transitions and everything, and then you'd edit every single evening. So I guess if you have like a day job or something, I think it's impossible. But if you're just going to, like, do you ever watch that dude John Stein on YouTube?
No, who's that?
Oh, he's this German producer, but he's got like owns a studio and he like makes music, but he's vlogged like every single day for like 3 or 4 years straight. And so, yeah, he's like, I don't know. It just seems like he like structures his entire life around vlogging. And then all he does besides that is like make music, work on his studio for people to rent out, and then like hang out with his girlfriend. And that's it. And like doesn't sleep very much.
It sounds like the vlog probably doesn't have very much new content, though. It's just kind of rehashing the same thing.
It totally is, though. Like, yeah, it's like the same like topics will come up like every single 6 months or a year. It'd be like, what free plugins do you need? Or like, what was my biggest mistake as a music producer or whatever? It's like same thing every time if there's no new content. But
I'd rather just make something.
Yeah, or if you're gonna talk about a topic, like for me, like I think I've uploaded like 1 or 2 just like the camera facing me talking about things on my YouTube, and like I'm just gonna do that once. Like I'm not gonna talk about it again.
Yeah.
Like because I haven't talked about it in 4 months.
And they give you the same tutorial again with different words. Like, what am I doing?
I don't know. But I guess maybe if you're like if you're big time, like if you're Skrillex and like you're like, yeah, I'm still using the same samples I was using 10 years ago. It's like, whoa, that's kind of interesting. But
yeah, I'd watch a Skrillex tutorial. I'm surprised I've never actually seen him do it.
Have you seen the he released the EP last year or this year? He didn't do a tutorial, but he showed or like the video on YouTube showed the whole Ableton project.
Yeah, but that's not the same. Like, I've seen that.
But then there was all these videos of people like trying to analyze it and like understand what's going on. And then I think he did like an interview. It was like this really terrible like daytime TV interview with like Katie Couric or whatever, and he recorded her, and it was really cringy, but you can kind of see.
You know, I know what you mean. I've seen those.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he doesn't though, because I mean, people would pay money for that for sure.
Yeah,
he had a masterclass or something. I'd check that out.
At this point, I feel like it's like so. I think like 10 years ago, there was so much mystique to like Skrillex and like how does he make music like that, and now it's like everybody knows how to do it sort of. So.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the problem. I guess if he reveals it, then there's no mystique at all. It's like, oh, he does it like that.
Yeah, I guess my point is it's already gone, I think.
Yeah,
right, like people know how to make those like basses and kind of stuff like that, and he's talked about it. Like there's text interviews of him talking about it. It's like it would be dope if there was like a video where he just talked about everything, but I don't know.
Did you check out the Dead Mouse one?
Which one? The like his Masterclass.
Yeah.
His live streams.
Did you check out that?
Yeah, I watched that like 4 years ago. And honestly, like I paid for it, and like, was it worth it? Not really. It was kind of entertaining, but the only tip I learned that was actually really useful, and before I release any music on like Spotify or whatever, and I've used that ever since, is he talked about how he does melodies and chord progressions, and just how the most important like part of the melody and the chord is like the first bar and the last bar, right? So like you want it to be a loop continuously, and then you can kind of like go wherever in the middle, and like it's pretty obvious, but like I just
that
like,
was mind blowing.
I didn't think about it like that before. I was just kind of like, oh, I just like write a melody like what I hear in my head, but then I was like, oh no, it makes a lot of sense. Like if it's gonna loop for 2 minutes, like you want the loop to like sound really good when it starts over, like
that's true.
You know, like the cadence of the chord progression or the melody should have like tension or whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I saw the ones I liked was the Hans Zimmer one. Assuming you know who that guy is.
Yeah, did you learn a lot from that, or was it just cool?
So there's like a few things that were cool. Like one of them, so he's like, "How do you come up with a melody?" And he's like, "I want it to be a story." And then he plays some notes on the keyboard. He's like, "Doo doo 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 doo." He's like, "So now that's like a character doing something." And then we have like a conversation of the guy responding, "Doo doo 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 doo." It's like, oh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought of like a song as like a conversation.
That's like, did he talk about, this is like something I learned in like, I took like some electives in university about music, and like something that they do a lot is like, in like opera or like film is like, they'll have a melody or something that shows up every time this character appears.
Yeah.
That's kind of different than what he's talking about, but that reminds me of that. Also, there's like a Kashmir. He's talking at ADE, I think a couple of years ago. And he says he makes music like the exact same way, where it's like he just comes up with some, even if it's an instrumental song, he comes up with like a concept or like some kind of story and just tries to make it sound like this idea. And then like the person listening may not know what the hell you're trying to tell them, but it's like, at least it's I don't know. You can kind of like this, it's like this intangible thing where you can hear the thoughtfulness or like the mindfulness behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I guess it gives you some direction for yourself as well. Like even if no one else gets it, at least you kind of gives you a little plan A, plan B. Here's where we're going. Especially if you have writer's block or something.
Yeah.
Oh, those are cool. The Danny Elfman one, that one, I don't know. I was really looking forward to that one. I didn't get quite as much out of that one as I was hoping for. That one's more like, here's my history in life, which is cool, but I kind of wanted to learn like, how does he do stuff with the crazy stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as crazy.
I guess like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, I think like music production is just like, it's just kind of boring. Like in terms of like stuff to learn, like after you've been making music for like 5 years or something like that, you just like, you've learned all this stuff mostly. You might learn like one trick, like maybe like once in a while or something. You're like, oh, I didn't think of doing that, but you could just hear it from listening to songs. Like you wouldn't need to watch tutorials or like, I don't know. So like, I think that's kind of when I realized, like, once I watched that Deadmau5 masterclass, like I thought I was going to learn a lot. And then I realized like, oh, I'm not really learning anything. And then like, since then, any YouTube tutorial I watched is just like, it's like, it's kind of interesting, but it's not
blowing your mind anymore. You've reached the threshold.
There's no mind blowing for like, I don't know, years now, but not to say I'm like as good, like I'm as good as I can be at making music, but just like, I don't find like there's techniques that I need to learn. It's just like, more repetition, more practice.
No, I get what you mean. I guess it's like there's not really new stuff getting invented every year. The same way like programming completely changes every framework that comes out.
Or like the new Macs or whatever, like the Mac computers that came out like with the faster chips. Like you don't have that in music production. Like it's not like, I don't know. In fact, people in music want to like go back and buy like vintage synths and stuff like that. Yeah.
No one's like, I want to go back and learn Fortran. Now it's getting cool again.
I want to go learn COBOL.
Yeah. That was
$1 million by the government.
That was like retro. No, that's fun. No, what happened to those? You released an EP a little while ago.
In February, yeah. It was 2 songs.
Yeah. That was cool. Have you done any new tracks lately?
So I was trying to release this new EP. It's like 5 songs. I was trying to release it in August, and I haven't released it yet. So
You still
I'm
getting
still working on it. Still
Still
tweaking
getting-
it. I got vocals for the one track.
Oh yeah.
Good. So that track's almost done. And then I had another song that I had my own demo vocals for a while, and it's like pretty much done, but I need to get another vocal for it because I can't release music with me singing on it. It's not good.
Are you still using that website to find the singers again?
Yeah, I've been using that. It depends on the song. Like some songs I'll use like Splice and get a cappella or something.
I mean,
Like,
if you already have
another-
it made, then yeah.
Yeah, I have like another song on the EP that's like that. Like I took like kind of a long, it's like maybe not long, but it's like 4-bar vocal, and I chopped it up a bunch and flipped it in all these different ways throughout the song, and it's kind of repetitive, but I think it sounds okay.
Yeah.
And then I think that's kind of the way I usually do it always is I make the whole song, and then I'll just like, if I decide I want like, or it sounds like it needs like someone else's vocal, I'll just like delete some stuff.
Delete some stuff.
Yeah, like in the break, if there's like a synth, I'll just delete the synth.
Oh yeah. It's just
And then it'll just be like pads or
check it
a
out.
stab or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you actually ever tried to work with like, I don't know, live vocalists, or like get someone else to actually come up with the stuff that you know?
Back in
Was
the
it always-
day, yeah. Back in the day, like maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. And then I was getting really frustrated because like my music wasn't that great. So like the kind of people I could collaborate with were like, like extremely only extremely flaky people were like willing to collaborate with me.
There's a lot of flaky people.
I just got really fed up with like trying to make something happen. So I was like, oh, I'll just get like samples for now. And then eventually it turned into, I'll just like pay somebody to do it, because at least they'll be super on time. They'll be like enthusiastic about it. But I would like to collaborate with someone at some point, like for real. I just haven't found like the perfect person. Like I met up with somebody earlier this year to collaborate, and then it was just kind of like we were on like different levels as far as like how our like producer knowledge.
But I mean, it's never going to
like,
be the same because it's different.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, you're like the most technical
out
possible.
I guess, yeah. But like, I don't know, that collaboration just didn't work out for whatever reason. But like, not to say that it couldn't. I just find I don't know. I haven't found anybody who's like the people I've hired have been excellent. Like I hired even a singer from Toronto, and she's like, but then she's been on like songs by Martin Garrix and stuff like that, right? So like, of course she's going to be professional about it. Yeah. But like, I don't know. Have you ever met anybody at like the meetup or like on like Craigslist or whatever?
Yeah.
Or,
so
like,
I did that. I stuck a Kijiji ad, and I've been collecting vocalists for over a year now, maybe nearly 2 years. And some of them are really good singers, but I found it really hard to get reliable singers.
Yeah.
Like everyone's a good singer who like makes it through the process. I mean, I do like a simple audition kind of thing, and they sound amazing. And then you give them a song, and they realize, they maybe actually haven't made their own stuff before.
Yeah,
So
that's a big thing. I guess the singer versus songwriter distinction is like
it's huge difference.
You would assume as a producer, like wouldn't all singers write their songs, but like probably a lot of them, the majority probably don't.
Karaoke a lot more than you want it to be.
So do you write songs, or do you try to find people that can write them?
Well, I tried both ways. It doesn't seem to make a difference, though. It's just whether the singer can actually get it done or not. Because like I tried giving vocals to the singer, but it doesn't seem to make it any faster. It seems to be the same speed, regardless whether I give them the melody or not, and vocals or not.
I found if you're going to pay somebody, it's usually a lot cheaper to write your own lyrics.
Oh, well, I haven't been paying people. No, I've just been splitting.
I know. I'm just saying, like, if you're if you were thinking of doing that, or if any of the listeners were thinking of doing so, it's a lot cheaper to not leave it up to the singer.
Oh yeah, how much?
And they'll want to cut as well if they read it.
Well, I mean, I don't mind giving people cuts. I'm all fine with that. But how much is it, this sort of thing? Anyways, I've never looked into actually hiring for different services like that.
yeah, so I guess just to the previous point, like the cut is no big deal to me either. It's just, I think it's just complicated. Like if you're not making a lot of money off your music, like why would you want I don't know. And why would you want to deal with that? Like if you're making no money is my opinion. So like, why not just hire people, like buy them out and like, then just never have to deal with it. And then two, so the price, like I usually pay like $200 or something.
Yeah.
It's like, it varies like a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on who you're hiring. But like that site I was on, Sound Better, it's like,
oh, that's the name of it, Sound Better.
It's pretty good. Like you can find what credits people have worked on, but you can always hire somebody like there, or there's another website called Vocalizer, which is more people that are not super, like they haven't really done like commercial credits, or maybe they've done them, but it's like something really, you wouldn't have heard of it, right? Like it wouldn't be like Martin Garrix or like whatever. So that's kind of the same deal. And then those things are probably like $100 to $200. And then the Sound Better stuff is probably like, you're probably going to pay like $200 to like, some of them are going to charge you like, if you're going to get them to like write lyrics and sing for you, it could be like $1,000.
Yeah.
Which I've never paid for a vocal that expensive.
That's one of the things. If you're going to pay that, you have to know it's going to be a hit. You have to have some way to.
Or if your livelihood is making music, I think you can probably justify like paying $700 to get a vocal for your new single, because like you're working with like a label who's going to promote it. And it's like going to help you get gigs and stuff like that. But if you're kind of doing it small time on the side, like I think it's really hard to be like, unless you're like, you just have money to burn. Like it's hard to be like, I want to spend $800 on this song that I don't know, I'm going to release. I hope people like it, but I'm not going to get my hopes up, you know?
Yeah. You know, I know what you mean.
There's like a good enough, it's kind of like music gear, right? Like there's shitty gear, then there's like good enough gear, and then there's like really good gear that's only a little bit better than the good enough gear. And that's kind of how I think about like getting a vocal for my tracks. Like I don't need the ultimate vocal, because like at the end of the day, like I'm releasing music to like, this is my production, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not really trying to, and also like, I think if you're not collaborating with the person, then like you can't expect them to give you their ultimate performance.
Well, see, that's why I want the collaboration, because I want to have it and send it for them for both ways. I mean, ideally, we both help market it too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like that hasn't happened a huge amount yet, but ideally we both be really active on social media when the song comes out. I don't know. I think like it can work as a long-term solution, assuming that somehow you actually do get a track that's great, like really, really good. And then you have like someone else is also hard promoting it as well as you hard promoting it. It sounds like it could be like an advantage.
I think if you had like the ultimate instrumental though, like in the EDM world, this is like the only space I'm kind of thinking of how this would work. Like not like pop music, because that's all different. Yeah. But like in the EDM world, if you had like this killer, like super fresh instrumental and you send it to a label, like, and the label really liked it, then I don't even know, like, would you even pay for the vocal then either though? Because like the label might just help you out with that. They like hook you up with somebody, right? And then they might make that part of your deal. But then I guess if you need the vocal to send it to the label, then you probably justify like, oh, I'm going to pay $700 for this, because I think it'll take my song to the next level. So I don't know.
I mean, the label might just want the vocal too. They're like, forget the background next. I just want the vocal. The vocal's amazing.
Maybe, but I guess if it's your IP, like you buy out the singer or whatever, or the singer has a stake in it, like you'll still be getting something. So you can only say no, I guess, too. Say no, I don't want you to.
Have you still been DJing
on my track?
Like you doing
I've been. I don't know if you know, like Lenny and a group of other DJs have started this thing called Global Quarantine Live. Have you seen that?
Yeah. He invited me to do it, but I don't really have DJ gear, so it doesn't really work for my side.
Didn't you do the thing one time?
Yeah. I've done it a few times.
You don't want to do it again? You could live stream. You could go on Twitch.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't have like a mixer console at my house at the moment. So I mean, like when I was doing those things, I was using someone else's gear.
Right.
So.
Oh yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
I
was thinking of investing in it.
I just have my setup at home, so like I have like a kind of a janky webcam setup and just pointed at me.
You're using that
the
Pioneer?
No, I have a Native Instruments controller.
Oh, you need a Tractor one. Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So that works okay. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I've been doing it. I think I've done it like at least half a dozen or maybe 10 times this year. And it's kind of like every other week or so. But yeah, you should. Well, I mean, if you're interested, you should think about it. But I think as well, like it's like the way I think about it is just like something for me to do. Like I don't think nobody really watches me do it. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think it says anything about like the tracks or the quality of the DJing, but like I don't really promote it. I don't have like a huge audience that I promote to, so it's just like I just do it for fun. Yeah. I did kind of promote my one single from the one EP that I did, and that was cool. That got like 800 streams or something like that.
Oh yeah,
which is like it's like nothing, but it's like good for me.
It was all you though, pushing it.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah, for the cost of like $20 to get it in some playlists.
Yeah. Have you registered everything on SOCAN and all that stuff?
No, I didn't do that because like I didn't really see. Like I thought about it, but then I also think like when am I going to get any SOCAN royalties anytime soon? Right? Yeah. Like it'd have to be like people DJing my song at like a big time gig, because like you don't get any SOCAN royalties until somebody's DJing or like doing a cover of your music at a place that charges cover. So like I'm not even DJing at places that charge cover most of the time. So it's like who else is going to be DJing my songs at a place that charges cover? And then also like I don't really make radio music, so. Well,
that's the thought that I thought that too, but I registered all my stuff just in case, and then I started to collect royalties. So someone's using it somewhere in the world, and it lists like random radio stations I've never heard of. So I don't know. You might want to it only takes like a minute. I can send you a link. It's not hard to do.
Yeah, I should do it. The only reason I didn't do it is because they have to like mail you something, right?
In theory, they mail you the check.
No, I thought when you sign up, they have to mail you something. I don't know
anything. It is everything was done online.
I probably got it mixed up, or maybe it was different. Like I looked into this like 4 years ago.
Yeah. So. No, I should send you a link.
Yeah.
It only takes a minute. Like why not, right?
Yeah, I might as well. Yeah, I'll look. I know the.
Yeah. Because like if you're using like a CD Baby or DistroKid, then you got to pay every year. But SOCAN thing's free, so.
Yeah, I should do that, I guess. But also figured it would be like pennies. But I don't know. Maybe
it is. It's not a huge amount, but I don't know. Just the fact that I don't know. It's kind of cool to see that there's actually random places playing it.
You do. Feel free to not answer this, but like, do you? Where's your DistroKid at in terms of like income?
Oh, I've almost broke even.
Oh, okay, nice. I don't think I've broken even. But what if my royalties, I think like before this year, I couldn't even buy like a cup of coffee. But I think I can buy multiple cups now.
Oh, there we go. Attaboy. It's all from Spotify, right? The other one's not giving anything.
Mostly, right? Yeah. Although I'm actually looking it up right now because it's kind of fun to look at. But the let's see. Some of it's like you would be surprised at like how different the different streaming services are. Like Google, they've shuttered their Google Play Music, but like
why did they shut it down?
Well, they replaced it with YouTube, which is not really it's different, right? Like it's all different features and stuff. So but I can't understand this. Whatever. I give up with the DistroKid trying to figure that out.
It's fun to see like, oh, this stream made 0.0000002 cents. Yes.
Yeah. Somebody bought one of my songs on like Apple, and I'm like, what are you doing? This stuff is free.
Attaboy.
Are they like, I don't know. But like it's fun to look at. I don't look at it very frequently, but
also you may, I don't know if you've already done this, but on YouTube, register for the content ID thing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is that like a setting in DistroKid?
No. So like DistroKid, they have an option where you pay money to do it, but you don't have to pay. There's no way around it. I can send you a link for this too. It's called YouTube Ad Rev. And all you have to do is upload your song, and then all the YouTube algorithms kick in, and every video that's been playing your song, you steal a monetization from it.
But like, who's playing our songs in their
I thought no one, but then I started uploading, and people apparently were actually stealing it. So,
but is it legit or is it like the algorithms busted? I don't know.
I don't know, but I made money.
I'm so suspicious. But yeah, please send me that.
It wasn't a huge amount. It was like $40, but it's like, oh, that's actually more than I expected. $40? Yeah,
that's wild.
That's like a lot of different videos. I don't know whose videos they are, but
one of my songs got put on this like Vietnamese channel that like puts like sexy anime pictures on every track. So like maybe I could be getting some kickbacks from that.
Gonna make bank from that channel.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, maybe that's the trick. You just gotta figure out some way to get your song to it like a sexy video. Yeah. Maybe,
didn't you do a music video like not too long ago?
I've done a bunch of them. Do you know what Kino is?
Yeah.
Kino is like an amateur film festival.
Oh, okay.
In Toronto. So they have it like 3 times a year, and every festival I submit 1 or 2 or 3 videos. So there's always like a music video in one of those. So I have like a few. They're just for the fun of it, but I always try to throw something visuals for the songs that I'm making. So there's always some stuff going out. The latest one was a friend came over, Omer, and he's like, I was showing off some music, and he's like, let's make a music video. I was like, okay, great. What one do you want to do? He's like, I have this idea for a humorous video. I'm like, okay. So he picked a song that was kind of cringy, but you're like, all right, it'll work for a humorous video. And the premise of the video was, it's you see him like working out, like intense training, orange juice, push-ups, and then you see me and I'm also working out, push-ups, chin-ups, running, jogging, shadow boxing, and then we come up to each other like wrestlers do, and we have a stare down at each other, and like, you're going down, and then we begin the competition and we're thumb wrestling. So it's just a really intense lead up to thumb wrestle.
That's good.
And then then I get defeated in the thumb wrestle, and then they have an over the top celebration where he's just out of his world, ecstatic for beating me at a thumb wrestle.
It's pretty good. I always wanted to do, like, I want to do a music video at some point, but like I want to do something. I don't know. I have trouble doing something like and not getting super like caught like what am I trying to say? No, just get carried away with like trying to make something that's like too like would be way too like high budget for like what I could do. Like I want to do something with like an extreme sport or something like that. Like for like a high, like, cause my music's like high energy, right? So I want to do something with like surfing or skateboarding or like something like that.
Skydiving.
Or break dancing or whatever.
Breakdancing.
Skydiving, that'd be cool.
How would you do breakdancing? Unless you just get dancers.
You could do the same thing, like a showdown kind of thing.
Except 2 guys who can't breakdance.
I don't have that comedy aspect so much with my music, but that would be good. Yeah, that'd be good if it was me and you trying to breakdance.
We could do it. I have all this stuff. I got cameras. I don't know if you can see this. I got like intense lighting. Oh, can you see it at all?
Oh, yeah. Cool. You got like
I got soap boxes. I have like green screens. I got all this stuff.
Yeah, there's no way I'm like recording myself breakdancing though.
No. I mean, think about something else. But no, I'm always down to doing music video stuff. I've been trying to. Was that good?
Oh, I was just gonna say I love surfing, so I'd love to do like a surfing video, but like can't do that in Toronto. So.
Not even the summer.
No, you mean you could like windsurf or whatever, but I love like surfing.
Surfing. Where have you done it?
Ireland mostly, but also Canary Islands, Texas, Japan.
You got to go all the way to Texas or Japan.
Well, you don't have to go all the way there, but like Texas is pretty bad surfing, to be frank. And then Japan is pretty epic sometimes, but I don't know. You have to go to like British Columbia or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I've never heard of surfing in Canada. Could be
only in BC, really. Well, Halifax too. Like, there's some places nearby, but I never went when I was out there. It's just kind of like something people do for like a day trip.
I'd like to do that.
Really,
actually,
like
that's on my bucket list. Go surfing.
It's awesome. You should try it.
Next time you're gonna go to Nova Scotia or wherever for surfing, give me a heads up.
I'm not gonna go to Nova Scotia anytime soon, but yeah, somewhere else maybe, like California or something.
But yeah, it'd be freezing cold. I don't know if you've been looking into this at all, but trying to get animations and stuff for videos.
Oh, I did it once for one of my things on YouTube. I have a video of me DJing, and I made a visualizer, the waveform.
Oh yeah.
Or actually, that's incorrect. I tried it with the visualization software, and then my computer like was dying trying to export it. So I just took a screen cap of my an EQ plugin. But I did the thing in the visual, like the animation software, but like my computer died trying to export it. So that's the farthest I've got with doing that.
Yeah. Now, I've been trying to learn something called Cinema 4D. I don't know if you've heard of that one. It's like that's what Deadmau5 uses to make his animations for his live shows. Well, not him personally, but he hires people to do it. Right. So I've been trying to figure that stuff out, and it turns out there's like a free version that comes with After Effects. So if you have After Effects, you actually already have it, which is nice.
I've got the Apple stuff, like Final Cut and Motion. Motion's pretty crap, I think, compared to whatever Adobe has, but Final Cut's really good. So that's why. And you don't have to pay a subscription, which like I detest.
Oh, actually, that's a big deal. Except you have to pay for a more expensive Apple, but it's probably worth it.
You have to have an Apple computer, which is like, yeah. But if you already have one, it's like, well, why not? You know.
I didn't know that they just came built in. I thought it was still extra. That's a good deal.
The Final Cut, it doesn't come with it, but it's like, because you already have a Mac, like it's not that expensive since it's a one-time thing. Same like Logic. Logic is super cheap compared to like Ableton Live.
Mm.
But then they're like, you have to have a Mac, so it's like.
Yeah. Well, you're using what? You're using Logic?
Ableton Live.
Oh, you're using Ableton Live. Wait, did you switch?
Yeah, I've been using Ableton for like 3 years.
Oh.
Or so. I used Logic for a long time.
When we collaborated, wasn't that Logic?
Maybe.
I thought so.
Yeah. I've used Logic for a very long time as well.
Oh. I don't remember using Ableton. I think that's a new thing as far as I know.
Maybe. I think it's been like 2 years, 3 years. No, maybe 2 years. But yeah,
why'd you switch?
Ableton Live's nice. It's just a nicer workflow. Better sampling, better time stretching. You can group stuff. Like FL Studio has some really funky ways of grouping stuff, which I'm not. It's not really for me, but
I'm all in for that.
Ableton is like does it in a sane way, in my opinion. It's like Logic. It's like maybe like 30% of the way to the chaos of if FL Studio and Logic were like two sides of the spectrum, Ableton would be like 30% of the way from Logic to FL Studio. But it's like all very carefully thought out. Whereas like FL Studio is just like, it's got everything and you can do everything however you want to do it. But it's like, it's kind of chaotic. Versus like Logic, it's like, I find Logic, for me anyway, other people might find it confusing, but I found Logic was like the most intuitive software I ever used.
Logical. Yeah,
exactly. It's logical for sure. And but some stuff is just faster in Ableton. Like you can't Logic, for instance, you can make a group of tracks, but like you can only make groups of like one level, right? Like Ableton, you can do infinite levels of groups. You can group effects. So you can save a preset that's like an EQ, a compressor, and a distortion. You can save a preset of that 3 like effects as a group. And then just recall that, which is like, why can't you do that in every software? It's great.
Yeah, in FL Studio, you have to use Patcher, which is okay, but
that's what I was talking about, like with the funky stuff. Like I kind of hate Patcher, and like
I didn't
the
like
problem with Patcher too is because or at least the problem I found with Patcher is like it doesn't tell you how much CPU it uses. So like I made some big template. I spent hours building this huge template with all these crazy patches, and then like I couldn't actually make music with it because it's so slow. So, and like Ableton, same problem with Ableton, but like it's more obvious because of the layout, like what's happening. But anyway, that stuff's kind of all becoming moot anyway, because like the FL Studio has better, I think they have it already, is they have like CPU metering, like they'll tell you which device is taking up the most CPU in the latest version. And then Ableton, next, like in the new update that's coming out next year, they'll tell you per track how much CPU it's using.
Oh, wow.
Which for me is like a huge upgrade.
Well, you're still doing it on a laptop, right?
No, I use like an iMac, so like the thing you can see in my virtual background, that's my computer. But even still, like I like a good CPU, lots of RAM, SSD. It's like it's all like it should like be really fast, but it's not, because I want to make like I want to put like a million synths in there. Yeah. Right. And I want to master the same session that I'm making my track in. And
Don't do that. That's definitely going to kill your CPU then.
Well, see, like what I have to do now is I have to do two steps, right? Like I have to make my arrangement with all the synths, and then I make a version where I like freeze and bounce everything. And
I hate doing that.
I mix that, and then I usually master the same session that I mix in, unless the mix gets really crazy, which usually doesn't happen, but sometimes it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to just like, if at the very worst, just like freeze my tracks and like not render them to audio. But like even better would be just like never freeze them and leave them where they are.
Yeah, I remember you were like, I wish there were a plugin that would just stage, so you could just do the all in one step.
What was
instead
that?
Of having to make the track, freeze it, send it, then do a master. If there was like a way to sync up those things so it would happen automatically.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what. I have lots of ideas for this kind of stuff, but like what was I gonna say? Yeah, the thing I hate about live too, like I hate the stuff I hate about all the softwares. I'm like not prejudiced towards any particular one, but like live, a problem with Ableton Live is like you can't hide tracks. So you need to have like, and I think FL Studio you can't do this either.
Oh yeah,
but Logic you can, and it's like, it sounds dumb. Like it's just like, oh, you can hide tracks, sure, whatever. But like you end up with so many tracks that you don't need to look at, but you don't want to delete them because it's like, oh, what if I want the MIDI later, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So like in Logic you can hide like dozens of tracks. It's really handy. You just hit the show hidden tracks button, and it's like, oh great, it's still there. But then in Live you have to have you can create a group folder that's like unused tracks and put your tracks in the folder, but then it's annoying. And then those tracks, even when you turn them off, they take up like loads of CPU. Anyway, I have beef with all production software because I can't just make music and never let it get in my way. So,
well, you're the guy who spends like almost as much time as Alex spends on the tracks. So,
I guess I don't know how much time Alex spends, but
probably
I spend way too much time.
You guys will both work on a track for like 6 months, and you were like, I'm still gonna work on it some more.
I guess, I don't know. Like I don't intend for it to end up that way. It just happens, you know. I'm like, I have this track done in like 2 weeks, and then
6 months later,
4 months. But then I see like the problem is too, you get in this phase of like you get kind of stuck working on it, and then like what do? Do you just like battle through and end up with a track you don't like?
Yeah,
like that sometimes that works, but like I prefer to just like work on something else for a while. And then
the thing is, I don't want to work on old tracks though. That's the thing. I hate working on old stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
do you ever find something I love is like I've done this a couple times for like a couple of different EPs, is like I have a batch of tracks that I'm like, oh, these are like 60% done. Like maybe this could be an EP. And I'm like, you know what? I don't like any of these tracks. And then I just like delete half the stuff in each track and make new tracks out of those tracks. Or like find a track I didn't like. One of the tracks on this new EP that I'm working on was something I started in 2018. And then I just like, I remixed it. And it doesn't sound very similar, but like I enjoy doing that sometimes.
No, I know exactly what you mean. I don't know. I just like, the reason is I really like working from scratch.
Yeah.
I find
That's
that
the best
fun.
part. That's the best part. Like,
Yeah.
if only that was the only part.
Well, I kind of force myself to do that because I don't like working on track for 6 months. So if it's gonna get done in like a month or two each track, and then like it might not be that great, but I want to keep working on from a blank template. I like that. I don't know about you, but I find that my old music is definitely never as good as my new music. So like my old track always sucks compared to the new track.
Yeah, but then I guess there's the like battle, I guess, in my mind of like, like it's like most of the way there, but I want it to be all the way there because like I don't know, I have like maybe it's kind of silly because like we're making like dance music and it's like who cares really, but like I was thinking like, oh, like when I put a track out, like wouldn't it be really great if I can come back in 3 years and be like, wow, that track still sounds really cool, right? Like, and it's probably never gonna be like that because like you said, like your new music is always better than your old music.
Yeah.
But I have this like, I guess, dream of like, oh, this music's gonna be like sort of timeless or something like that. If I put all my,
if you put all my
being into it, you know, it won't be as good as my new tracks, but it'll have something to it that like I could never get that again in my new tracks because I was, at a different part of my journey.
Yeah, you're gonna make the timeless epic that just, it's like a Michael Jackson Thriller. It's just never gonna go away.
Just retire. Go into hiding for
Well, if you make one Thriller, you don't need to do anything else. You can just call it a day.
Yeah. Until that day, though.
Until that day.
Keep working on it. But that's why you're rolling in YouTube money, and I'm not, because you're
$40. Yeah,
you can get stuff done.
Bling. I used to actually make a lot of money off YouTube, but then they cut off the algorithm so that they changed all the algorithms. Like I used to have some tutorials online where I taught how to make websites, and
really cool.
I had like hundreds and thousands of views, and then they did something to the algorithm and it demonetized my channel. Now all that income stopped completely.
You need like X subscribers or whatever.
Yeah, I don't have any subscribers.
They changed all the rules.
Yeah.
It used to be anybody could get into the content partner program, and then they changed it up.
Like I used to make quite a few $1,000s from that, and then they just cut it off. I'm like, oh well, I guess that kills that career path.
So like then you have to become a YouTuber then, or else you can't make money.
That. No.
Which is stupid. Like you should be able to if say you have a viral video, it's got 80 million views, but you don't make any more videos, you should make money off your like say you put up Gangnam Style and then like you never made a video ever again. Like you should be making lots of money off of that.
Yeah, I think it works out something like you have to have 1,000 watchtowers or something before you can monetize your channel.
So maybe it still works. But it's like too much for like small time people to do.
Maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's 10,000 hours. It was a big number. It was like
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours.
Your audience has to master the art of understanding your content.
It was like a really big number. I'm pretty sure it was 1,000 subscribers because I think I have, because I know it's not 100. So that's definitely not it. I think it was just 1,000 subscribers, maybe 10,000 hours or something. You have to be a channel to monetize your YouTube
You have
content.
to be a YouTuber.
Yeah. They really are not letting independent people do it anymore.
Yeah. And I'm barely finishing my music as it is. I can't become a YouTuber at the moment.
Got to do Mr. Beast style.
What's his deal?
Oh, you don't know Mr. Beast?
I've heard of him. I don't know what he does.
So he's some viral YouTube channel with every video making millions and millions of views. But every time he makes money, he puts all the money back into the next video. So he blows the entire amount of money he makes. So his videos are ridiculous, but he's always broke at the end of the day because all the money's gone.
That's pretty cool.
So like all of his videos are like, in this video, we're going to give away a house to a pizza man. And then, of course, that goes viral because that's so ridiculous. And then he's like, oh, that video made some money. Let's do the next one. Let's buy an island. And like, that's the next video. So like, it's great, I guess, as long as he stays viral. But when he stops being viral, I don't know if he's going to have any money. It's all gone on the videos.
Yeah. Do you ever think of becoming like a YouTuber for any particular reason?
So when I was young, I liked the Freddie Wong. Do you know who that is?
No.
He's like the guy who made special effects.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the YouTube channel. So I was following him through the years, and he was the biggest YouTuber for a few years. But then he just realized that it's really hard to keep it up because it takes a lot of work to make those videos.
Yeah.
And then less people started watching over time, but like it took so much effort to consistently generate a quality, cool, new special effect with a story and be well edited and everything.
That's hard though. I think if you want to make it big, you need to like think smaller, maybe.
Yeah.
It's something that requires like dozens of hours every time. What I was wondering actually is like, hey, have you ever thought of doing like sketch comedy on YouTube?
Yeah. I have some buddies that we try to make a few videos every now and then. I mean, that's kind of what the Kino thing is. We make some silly thing and we send a festival and we upload on YouTube. But I don't know. It feels like if you want to do that, you really have to be uploading a lot. Like, it doesn't seem to work. You upload once a month. Like, you really need to have consistent uploads.
Or like once a month once a month might be actually fine. But like the point is, I guess, like you can't just upload like twice a year.
No. Like you really need to, if you want to beat the algorithm and actually get something working with you instead of fighting everything all the time.
I guess so. Unless you had like a banger video. Like if you just had one hilarious video, then like, I don't know. I think the content is ultimately what matters at the end of the day.
That's
but
true.
yeah, I think to like maximize YouTube, you definitely need to be one of those YouTuber people that's putting out content all the time. But I also think like if you did have like just a few classic videos, like people would go back to those all the time.
Yeah.
And like show their friends and stuff and it would blow up. But I don't know if it's profitable. I don't understand YouTube money very well. So like I don't know if it's profitable or not, but
it seems
I think if you had like a banger couple of videos, like they'd be good.
There was do you know who Donkey is?
No.
Nah, crap. I mean, so there's a bunch of YouTube channels who they started doing like the month thing, and then they were like, wait a second, we get like a few million views each video, but why don't we just like make more videos, even if they're less good? Just like, why are we not? So like a lot of channels are heading in that direction just because it's so much more profitable to do it that way.
Yeah, or you do different types of videos, right? Like, maybe you do your sketch comedy like once every 2 weeks. You drop a video, but then you have like vlogs every other day.
Vlogs, I just rants about. Hey,
maybe just talk about like what you're working on, or
see, maybe not viral. It needs to be
not vlogs, but like
that's not viral.
Like yeah, but there's like another YouTuber I watch, like Cody Ko, and he's like famous enough that he has his own subreddit. And like he every week he just goes on his subreddit and looks at the top posts and like cracks jokes about like what people are saying. So like that's like another type of content you can release consistently because there'll always be new shit on the subreddit. But then like you don't need to do anything original for that.
Meme review. Gotta get a meme review subreddit going. Then you can easily generate content. Today's email on Reddit is blah blah blah.
Maybe we just discovered the key to YouTube is like you do your thing with your like kind of your real like juicy content that requires a lot of editing and stuff every now and then, and you do that on a schedule you're comfortable with. Then you just find like low effort stuff that's entertaining.
And then after a while, you're like, why am I doing the hard stuff? Let's just stick with the low effort stuff.
That's the dream. Is people like the low effort videos better, but the thing is too, though, I don't know. You need something, right, to give it a purpose.
That's why so many people just end up, hey, let's just play a video game and rant because it's easy.
I guess I don't know. You have to love gaming though, right? Like, or else it doesn't work. I think.
Yeah.
Or like you love that game.
I guess you just want to be famous, and then you can do whatever the activities you want, and it'll be all right. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like now, this episode of Ryan Gosling cooks a chicken. People are gonna watch that.
Yeah, but see, like if you had no movies, you couldn't just cook chickens. if you stopped doing movies, like eventually people would be like, "Well, this is stupid." Like
some of the big
handsome guy making chicken,
like Will Smith and Jack Black, they started doing that. Just got YouTube channels. I mean, people watch it because it's them, right? Doesn't matter what they do. Yeah,
that's kind of like a weird trend I noticed in like this year or so, or maybe the last couple of years, is celebrity YouTube channels.
Yeah, like why not? Like it makes sense.
Yeah. That shows you like maybe YouTube is like running its course though. Like it's getting so mainstream. I don't know. Probably not. I think YouTube's like a really it's such a, like a powerful medium, and then like seeing it used this way, it's like you realize like it's even more powerful than you thought it was at one point, even though you already thought it was very powerful.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a Dragon Ball Z character. It's like not even my final form.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't brought in the donation button like Twitch has done.
That is surprising. I thought you can can't you donate to a live stream, I think? You can already do that, I think. Yeah, I think you can donate and then your comment will get like pinned. So you can ask if you like I watched a bunch of live streams on YouTube, and usually what they'll do is they'll answer all the questions that people are paying to ask. So if you like donate $5 and ask a question, they'll answer that. But they may or may not get to all the other ones that people are just like spamming in the chat.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Same with Twitch, I think.
I wonder why they haven't just had a general donation button though.
I don't know. Yeah, like why doesn't YouTube just like kill Patreon?
Seems like
right? Because like every YouTuber has a Patreon at this point.
Yeah, all they have to do is add a button. Whole business goes out.
Yeah, like why? Patreon. I don't know, but it does kind of like fuck up YouTube too, because like then, so like it. Well, yeah, I guess a donation button would be fine. I was thinking like if YouTube was gonna try and get rid of Patreon, like it would kind of ruin YouTube, because what would happen is like all the YouTubers would put all like they already kind of do this is like they'll put like lots of content on YouTube to attract people, but then they'll put like extra good content on Patreon that you can only get if you're a Patreon supporter. Yeah. And then like I think if YouTube brought that to YouTube, every YouTuber will just make all their good content paid. Because like why would they drop it for free?
Well, they do have that. They have like YouTube Red or YouTube Premium, right?
Yeah, but they don't. Are there paid channels? Like I thought there's just like maybe you can watch TV shows and stuff.
But I mean, that's the same premise.
I don't think there's any like vloggers or anybody that's like you pay $10 a month to watch their vlog.
No, but I mean
I think that's where it'll go.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean that's Twitch, right? You can donate and you can watch the video. It's always streaming for some reason.
Yeah, but it's free. Like you don't have to donate. And I was just thinking if YouTube made it so that certain content was locked by a donation, like then it would ruin it.
But I wonder why maybe this is the next idea. You have like the hybrid. So you have YouTube with videos, but you have the donation button too. So you have that site. Maybe that's the next thing that needs to come.
Yeah. I like that idea though. Like, why don't they just have a like give money button?
Yeah.
Like, I love this. I want to give you money. Yeah. But I guess Twitch has it does it. I don't know. The live
Twitch is a little weird because it distracts from the video. They have like a pop up and everything.
That makes sense though, right? I like how true. Like they can, like one Twitch streamer I watched. He like I don't know if like this is just built into Twitch or like he has some plugin or something. But like when somebody donates and they say something, it like does like text to speech.
Yeah, that is fun.
The thing, and it like interrupts him, and it's like hilarious. Right?
Yeah,
like people will say like absurd stuff.
That is enjoyable, isn't it?
So like that's amazing. I love that. But I guess for just the static videos that just live there, like there's no interaction component. You're just giving them money.
Yeah, that's true. Why would someone I guess that's the whole fun of donating is you see the guy receive the money. You're like, and
they react to you, right? Which is like, I don't know. I think that's exciting for
that's
audience.
True. So I guess I didn't know that YouTube streaming had a donation thing though.
I think I'm very, very confident.
Well, then I mean, if they already have it, then there's the answer. They already got it.
They beat us to it.
They already beat. There goes them. There goes the $2 billion investors valuation. Shame. My buddy.
Go ahead. Yeah.
My buddy wants me to make an app for him, and so I'm learning Flutter at the moment because I want to build this app.
Cool.
And the premise is, it's an app where instead of tossing a coin to make decisions, you use the app. So like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm going to let the app make a decision for me.
Oh, you just like shake the phone and it flips a coin for you?
So I mean, there's already like an app like that for the coin, but that's like that, but more advanced. So you have an option where you're like, I could have a coin, I could have a dice, you could have like a tree animation that goes through a bunch of Plinko board things that gets to your answer. You could have like one of those.
Oh, okay, cool. It's like the indecision app. Or like
the indecision. Yeah, exactly. You're like, I don't. What choice do I want? Boop, 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 boop. Oh, okay, I'll do it. So it's like you can pick how you want to have the app choose your decision.
Or like AI rock paper scissors.
Exactly.
For like choices. That's fucking sweet.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out how to make that at the moment, and
that sounds really doable. I think.
Yeah, like it's not technically hard. So come back to me in 6 months, and we'll see if I've made it.
Are you a good designer?
No, we'll find out.
Send me, if the app makes it to the App Store, please send me the link. That sounds awesome.
Well, I kind of wanted to build something with Flutter because I haven't done it with Flutter before.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Feels like a good project just for the hell of it. I don't know. We'll see. Like I'm gonna try to build it. I tried to make something with Google Maps, but I found that Google Maps was a little more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
The Maps API is just like complicated.
Yeah, have you ever looked into it?
Yeah, we did something, well, not really, but like we were working on something at work that somebody else was working on. And then I've just worked with other Google APIs and like, you're like, these should be the best, but they're complicated.
Yeah, the documentation wasn't there that you thought would be there.
That's what I find I have to work with Amazon APIs a lot at work. And like, it's always baffling, like what's missing.
Yeah.
From that stuff.
It's like, how is this not like easy? This is so common now. This is so mainstream.
Or like what gets me a lot of the time about programming in general is like people explain stuff in a way that doesn't make sense with my brain. Like it's like a concept that's not even complicated, but because it's explained in an academic way or like in a way that you need to understand. So like Amazon APIs, for instance, maybe it makes sense if you're like, you have 12 years of experience as a DevOps professional, but like I don't. I'm just trying to like do this thing with the database because like I need to do that to get my task done. Like I don't want to learn the entire, like, I don't know. I don't want to learn how all of AWS works just to do this one thing. Yeah. So like I find there's a lot of stuff like that. It's just like,
I know exactly what you mean. I got those books. I had those books that you're talking about, the Amazon book and Google Cloud books, and you think it would just have all the answers, but do you know what Manning Publishing is?
No.
I don't know. Check them out later. Manning Publishing. They make really good books on like software stuff. And some of the books that they've come out in the last few years are like the newest version of all the software. It's like the newest Angular, the newest Google Cloud, Amazon Web Services. Some of the new features that just came out, they now have books on, and like the books are like actually decent, not like most programming books where you just lost completely. No, that I highly recommend them. I that's what I've been spending COVID. I got, let's see, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have between maybe 15 to 20 of these books I got over the year and just been going through them. So
real physical books?
Yeah, physical, like, yeah, you can see them. See those books?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. That's what I've been wasting all this time doing.
And wasting paper.
Wasted paper, man. Yeah. That's the
burning down the Amazon.
Yeah, I'm doing my part.
So you can learn.
So I can learn useless information that I'm never going to use. Yeah. Flutter one looks good though. I don't know about you, but
Flutter looked cool. I saw a presentation on it, but I never used it.
Well, I tried to learn Ionic.
I'm using that at the moment at work.
Oh yeah, how's that for you?
Well, I guess using it is maybe a bit misleading. It's being used on the project that I'm working on, and it's okay. Like we don't have to do much. That's like really the native stuff. So like we just have a few native plugins, and the whole app's in JavaScript, and it's like seems to work pretty well. Yeah. But I can see how it would not be great if you wanted like a pure native experience, or like, I don't know, if you didn't want, if you need to do a whole ton of stuff for like native, like then it's probably really annoying to use Ionic. But
I don't know. I've only ever learned the Ionic way. I don't know the native way.
depends where you're coming from, right? Like if you're like JavaScript, then like it's probably pretty sweet. Like you just write your web app, and then you have some bindings for mobile, and you can add a plugin to do like whatever few things you need on the mobile side, and then that's cool. But if you come from like you come from like a background of like you work on Android, like you're probably not going to be into this JavaScript framework, right?
Well, I wasn't an Android Studio guy. I never really enjoyed working with that software. So I was looking for excuses for something else.
Xcode blows, in my opinion.
Xcode?
Yeah, it's just like so confusing and so like it's I don't know, so many. It's like so not beginner friendly. Like it's just I hate it.
But I don't know but I found Ionic was annoying because like we're on Ionic 5 now, right? And all like the instructions are like Ionic 1 and then maybe Ionic 2.
That's like Angular is the same way, or like maybe it's good now, but like when I learned Angular 2 when it came out. You can't find any documentation, like everything you search for Angular, it's like, oh no, you mean Angular JS? No, yes. I want Angular 2.
Exactly.
And then eventually, I'm just so glad like Angular is not even popular anymore. So like I don't even have to think about it. But when it was popular, I was dealing with that, and it's like you get around it. Like it's not impossible, but very annoying.
Yeah,
when you're trying to learn.
No, I ran into the same problem. Oh, here's how it works. Wait a second, it's not working. Oh, it's JS. Thanks. After a few hours of trying to get stuff to work. That's my beef with Ionic. Is every time I try to learn it, it's always like the previous version that, like the documentation was always the old one, and the stuff I was always trying to do requires the new one to work. So. But the Dart one looks like it doesn't have that issue because it's all, I don't know.
Is that Flutter?
Yeah, the Flutter one.
Yeah, but then you have to learn Dart. It's like, what?
Well, I thought it would be tough too, but it turns out it's almost identical to Java.
Okay.
So if you know Java, no, Java. So if you know Java, you already know Dart, which is surprising. Yeah, I thought I was going to hate it. I guess. Yeah. I thought I was going to hate it, but it's the same. It's like, oh, okay, that's actually not hard at all.
Oh, so it's kind of like, it's like sort of like writing an Android app-ish.
Except you have to deal with Android Studio.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing I hated. It wasn't the Android, it's the Android Studio I didn't like.
Wasn't it just like it's sort of like Eclipse, but it's like really janky? And like,
yeah, exactly. I like
too much going on.
Eclipse, I understand. Android Studio was things happening. I had a course in university, and it was the one course I got nearly failed it, and that was a Android Studio course. And the reason is because I couldn't install Android Studio on my laptop. My laptop was incompatible.
Can you do it at like the school computers or something?
We tried to do it at school computers, but we had some problems with my computer at school, so I could like almost never work or study with the stuff I needed to. So I had to constantly rely on my partners in class to try and do things. It was bad. But
that was like my one course. It was like you could only do the project on Windows, and I had a MacBook.
Yeah, it's like that kind of problem.
Like, yeah, it was like that exact problem. And like I tried installing Boot Camp on my MacBook, but like my hard drive wasn't big enough, so it was just like more trouble than it was worth. So then I was like trying to do this lab assignment, right? And like you're like, okay, I'll go to school and I'll get it done, right? Yeah. But then like the computer labs closed at like 8 p.m. or whatever, and you're like, well, I have my assignment due. What the hell am I going to do?
Yeah, what do you do? You just fail.
I don't know.
That was my strategy.
University is stupid for more reasons than that, but that's one of the reasons. It's just why make it like this.
I don't know why university never taught the frameworks. Like that's the stuff you need.
I think it's like a kind of a ideology sort of thing, right? Because like the frameworks come and go, and the profs, all the frameworks they would know about, they probably it's all outdated, right? Like I don't know. So like your prof probably just picks whatever is like not completely obsolete for you to work on for like your class project, and then teaches you general stuff you can apply no matter what. But yeah, it does it is pretty misleading because like universities will be like, when they're promoting themselves and like trying to get you to apply, they'll be like, oh, like
Latest
X percentage of people got a job or got a good job based on like taking our program.
Yeah,
but like our program itself is not going to help you get a job, which is the part that they leave out. Like you need you need to be like thoughtful about the electives you take and like the projects you do on the side and the internships you get. And
it's a lot of things going. Yeah.
I don't know. But then like boot camps and stuff are like not really, they're not the same. So it's like, I don't know what the solution is.
Well, I was thinking, should I go back to school? And I don't know, it's COVID. You got a year of nothing, right? And then I was thinking, well, if I go back to school and like get a master's or something, a PhD, like I'm still not learning the frameworks. Like that's the stuff I need though. That's actually what I need is the framework. I need the new Spring. I need the new Ionic or Dart, Flutter.
Grad school will only help you if you're trying to get in at like Facebook or Google. It won't help you like any other company, right? So yeah, but like I mean, the framework stuff, like you have experience, so you could probably just
now I do, but that's because that's because I've been doing these things lately. But like, I wouldn't have known this. Like, there's no one telling you this, and school's not going to give you that info.
But imagine if your school taught you like Angular JS or like Ember JS or Ruby on Rails or something that's like not even cool anymore.
Teach you the wrong framework.
Like, yeah, exactly. So you're like, okay, now I know this framework, but like, but you didn't do a computer science degree, right? You did
yeah, but I took a lot of computer science courses. I snuck in.
Okay, yeah.
I snuck in and took them.
You did like a minor or something, or just
I took almost enough courses to get a minor. Yeah, I was nearly there. But I was also like really struggling because I was always on the watch list because the computer science students always get first dibs.
Oh, yeah.
So I was always fighting everything. I was always trying to sneak in when a kid drops in. That was annoying as hell, but it was worth it.
That's too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, that was worth it, though. I couldn't have done anything without those courses. And it didn't have the background at all, right? I needed the background. Yeah, I don't regret it. It's good.
Yeah. I think programming is going to become, like, I have serious fear for where programming is going to be in 10 years as a job because of, like, how... I don't know. It's just, like, it seems, like, too... it's like too good to be true. Like not in every, like it's still a job. So like, don't get me wrong. It's not like, whoa, like this is like the most amazing, you know, job and lifestyle anyone could ever have. But it's like compared to becoming a doctor or a lawyer, it's like cheating kind of because web development's just like the Wild West. Like you don't even need a university degree. And then all you have to do is get like 2 years experience in the industry and like you're making pretty good money compared to like what like accountants make or like what other people make that are like in decent jobs. So I don't know. I have fear for the future of like boot camp grads and new university grads and all those people. I think, I don't know.
There's so many people coming into the field now because there's so much demand.
But the problem is the demand is all for people with 5 years experience.
Yeah, that's true.
10 years experience. Like it's not like, it's not fair.
Yeah, I think that's why I struggle a little bit because like I have almost enough experience, but not quite enough. So like, no, not yet. Come back in a few years. Like,
but you have, I don't know, you have stuff on your resume, and you get, if you just learn whatever you need to learn for. Like,
I think the stuff on my resume is actually hindering me though, because they look at it and they're like, "You do other things outside of programming. We don't like that."
Well, my kind of philosophy around that is like I just wouldn't mention anything about that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do that.
I just like, yeah, not to say I lie or anything. I just kind of like, I compartmentalize like this is my work life, this is my personal life, and like when I'm in an interview or I'm at work, like I just be my work self, and then when I'm at home, I don't think about work too much. It's kind of like, well, that's what I try to do, but I don't know.
I think that's what happened in my last interview is I showed them that I have other things that I've done, and they're like, "Oh, oh my gosh, shoot. Shouldn't have told you about those other things."
That's fine when you like already work there and like you're making personal relationships with people. But like companies and like recruiters and hiring managers, whatever, they're all gonna have like big hangups about like stuff like we want somebody with like passion or like, you know, they like live to code and whatever. And like nobody, that person, like these people don't exist. But like you have to put on like the facade because like the interviewing thing, it's like this whole game like you don't have a choice of whether or not you want to play the game. You just have to like, you only decide how good you want to be at playing the game. And then the job is a different story altogether, right? You can probably be a little more like yourself and just try to do a good job. But interviewing is a nightmare.
Programming interviews are so, I don't think any other job has the same kind of bizarre.
The whole thing is, this is why I'm saying like programming is scary, because like a lot of it's like the Wild West in terms of like what background you need to get a certain job and a certain like salary. But like so we don't have a bar exam. We don't have engineering licenses. We don't have like
no one trusts those licenses.
Yeah, we don't have any accreditation, right? So like every single company, you start off from like your starting point is like mistrust.
Yeah, that's true. Right?
So like, no, I don't know about you, but I've never had an interview where I talk to the person. Like I've talked to people about like, what's on my resume? We never just had like an hour conversation about like, what's your experience? Like, what do you think about the role? What would you do? It's like, I don't know, do this like tree problem on a whiteboard, or like, tell me all this like random facts about JavaScript, or like what, I don't know, stuff is just like, would not be reasonable in other fields, but like we put up with it because that's just how it is.
And you're not even going to use this stuff for the job, but it's just like, we need to know that you know something. So here's all these hard challenges.
Yeah.
But no, I guess once you get through it, then it's not a big deal. It's just hard to get in the door. But then, so that my beef is that everything's contract now.
Really? You're only finding contract stuff? Maybe that's the pandemic is changing things in Toronto a little bit.
You haven't found that? All the jobs that I've ever had or applied for, they seem to be, at some form or another, they're project by project jobs.
I pretty much been doing full time, but getting into the industry was hard. Like I had a long kind of stretch between like graduating and getting like working. But
because like
I don't know. I think it's kind of like there's two different paths, right? There's like the contracting path and the full time path, and like there's arguments for both sides, but I think once you get like a full-time job, then it's kind of like it's easier to get more full-time opportunities. I don't know. But then like recruiters will be all weird about it. They'll think like, oh, you're like, you want contract jobs because you've already done contract jobs. And well, like why? That has nothing to do with anything. That's just what I've done because that's what I was doing. I don't know. But I don't know. They don't have enough information to make rational decisions. Like it's just like, look at your resume for 5 seconds, talk to you for 15 minutes, and then they're like, yeah or no, right? So like, that's not fair.
The contract thing sounds good because it pays quite well. And then as soon as you're done, you realize, oh, I have to interview again to the next contract. I got to go through this whole cycle all over.
It is kind of cool though that like you have, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but like right now you're in kind of like a gap period where you can like just focus on yourself and projects and stuff. Like full time, you just get vacation, right? Yeah, I've
spent the last 6 months, since August, I guess, writing. Do you not know about this? Oh, so did I ever mention the book?
No.
Okay, so I got to write the official manual for FL Studio now. Yeah.
No way.
Not for ImageLine, but it's for like almost like the publishing company, one of the publishing companies. So that book is last chapter is probably going to be finished this week.
So are you working with anybody on this, or you're just?
Yeah, I have a team of editors and proofwriters and everything. So that's amazing. That's going to be done in the next like few weeks or months. Because like I'm writing the last chapter this week. That's done. And then the FL Studio Handbook, man, it's coming out in March. I'm telling you, man, this is the handbook. I put everything in this sucker. This is the thing.
That's awesome.
I put in some weird stuff too, like vocoders and crap. I had fun with it.
That's all part of it.
Yeah. I threw in everything. Everything that, even the stuff that you wouldn't think would be in there, I put it all in there.
The fruity dancer.
Yeah, I put in all the stuff, all the tricks. I held nothing back on this one.
I'm trying to think of like, there's all those cringy parts of FL Studio. Like they have the, they have some of those instruments are really ridiculous. Like they've got the fruity dance plugin. And then they've got...
Oh, no, I didn't mention useless stuff. No.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of stuff like they have... I don't even know. They have like some. Don't they have
Booty
like an
dance.
anime babe in one of
Yeah, I
the
know
one of
that
the plugins? Which one's that?
Yeah, what is that one called? I have to look at that one, but I never use that one, so that's not useful.
I'm just opening it right now. I haven't opened FL
You want an
Studio.
anime babe to dance to your track? Yeah, FL Studio can hook you up with that.
See,
I mean, the fact that you can change the background is kind of cool. FL Studio, you
Yeah.
can choose whatever you want. The fun part with writing the manual was I thought I like knew a lot of stuff, and then I had to like write a chapter on it, and I had to I gotta actually figure out the precise terminology to explain these things. Like how
Did
does
you write it? Go ahead, sorry.
like how a phaser works? Like what?
Yeah.
How does a
You don't think
vocoder
about
actually work? What? Oh, okay. I have to figure out the words to describe this. Huh.
Mhm. It's a very there's so much to the kind of computer music making stuff that's like really non-musical.
Yeah. Like I had to learn sound design. Like I thought like this would be simple, and like, oh no, I'm gonna do this right. So I went and like learned the physics behind how sound works and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool though. It's like it's kind of fun to think about it that way sometimes, because you'd really make like different sounds probably when you think about it in such a scientific way. But when you're it's definitely like a whole, I don't know. Like I found like when I learn about that stuff, I really think about it, and then like it kind of changes my perspective. And then after time, like I get to a point where some like little bit of that knowledge has remained, but most of it has just like turned into habits, right? Like so you learn a couple things about how stuff works in a synth, like based on like the rules or all the like why stuff works that way kind of thing. And then you just internalize like, oh, like now I make presets like this because I remember
exactly.
like if I need to make a plucky sound, like I just know how to make that with envelopes and like modulate the pitch and stuff like that. But like the first time you learned it, you're like, whoa, I never thought about that.
What is this? What is a saw? What is a square?
Yeah.
What is module? What's a LFO? That one took me a while. I was like, what is this? Because it's not obvious what an LFO is from the first time you hear it. You turn the knob, you still don't know what it is. Now this is like probably the worst way to get into sound design, but something I found really handy is like I have some modular synths now, and I think like the ideal, this is like not the way to learn, because like modular synths are like expensive and like unnecessary. But like if I were to start all over, I wish I had learned synthesis just by playing with modular synths to start. Really?
Because like it's really obvious, right? Like you take an oscillator, it's just constantly emitting this pitch, and then I take the signal from the oscillator, I plug it into the filter cutoff, then I have this other module that can generate envelopes or cycling envelopes, which are LFOs, and then I can plug that into the filter cutoff, and then I can get kind of a sound, and then I can plug that into a VCA, which is like imagine like a volume knob that you can control with voltage, and I plug something else into the VCA, and then that opens and closes to make my sound, which would be like in a soft synth would just be like the volume envelope.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just like it makes total sense. Like how
it does when you see it in
work.
front of you, and you're like, oh, this leads to this, leads to this, leads to this. You stick a wire in. Yeah.
And then I think if I learned that way, I would have known how to make good sounds a lot easier. Because like I found even when I learned how, like I can't remember what the first synth I was like really into using was, but like when I learned how to use the synth, it's like, okay, I get what an oscillator is, I get what a filter is, but I still can't program a good sound because like I just kind of understand what all the parts do, but I don't get the relationship between them.
Yeah. I think the first one that I really dove into was Massive.
Yeah.
I mean, that one has a few parts to it.
But you know what I'm saying? Like you could get all stuck up on like what wavetable you're going to use when it's like, that doesn't matter. Like what matters is like how you're modulating the filter.
How you filter it.
How you're,
how you're going to automate it.
What notes you're playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other stuff. So.
There's like different stages you go through, and every time you come back to the stages every every few years and you relearn, like, oh, okay, I think I have to relearn chord progressions the proper way this time. A few years later, I'm going to learn how to do chord progressions the proper way again. Every time you think you know, you come back. That's true.
But yeah, that's definitely changed over time. I guess for me is like when I started making music for the first few years, I was like, I've like couldn't fit all the things I needed to know in my head. And then now it's like, there's nothing to learn. I just have to do it, which it's almost kind of, I don't know, disappointing. I think. I don't know if you feel the same way.
No, like, I'm super psyched about FL Studio even now.
Well, I love making music. Like I never not love making music and especially now it's amazing because like I can just kind of make the music I want. Like,
exactly.
5 years
Whatever
ago,
you want to make, you actually know how to do now.
5 years ago, I would have just made what I could make.
Yes.
That didn't sound bad.
Finally know how to do it.
And like back then I could make something that sounded okay, but it mightn't have been what I wanted. And like now I just can make what I want.
Exactly.
Except there's not as much novelty to it, right? Like so I have to like invent novelty with each song. Like maybe I'm gonna like, I don't know, record some finger snaps or something. I don't know.
I think you just gotta find some collaborators, because then you get the spark every time.
Probably, yeah.
Some variation.
Probably.
Yeah.
But like compared to programming is like you will never know everything there is to know about programming. You know what I mean? But like music production, if you do it for 30 years, like you're gonna be be good and know everything. But like,
how many years have you been doing it?
Music production?
Yeah.
Maybe like 10, 11 years.
Well, that's enough time. You only need a decade. A decade's definitely enough. Really, right? How long do you really need to do? Like, it's just music production in general. But like
I've been doing programming. I've been doing programming for almost maybe like I've been doing programming for like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
Or like if you count when I started my degree, that'd be 8 or 9 years. And like there's no way I don't know how to do some stuff. Like I don't know how to do artificial intelligence or like embedded programming or
that's another rabbit hole. Yeah. And even if you did know it then, you'd have to relearn it if you wanted to be up to date now.
Yeah.
You'd be in like a slightly new field in 5 years.
Or yeah, if you imagine like I went and did AI for 3 years and then I tried to come back and do web development, it'd be like, no. Like everything I know would be like obsolete already, which is the really cool thing about programming. But I guess it's also kind of shitty because like, you know, if you took a break from making music for a year, you could pick back up where you left off. Easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it'd be different if you're like playing an instrument. Like if you're like, you'd probably be rusty. Yeah. Same thing with making music, but like you just learn it all and it'd be easy. But like programming, no.
Yeah. But music production's all about kind of understanding, whereas playing an instrument is all about muscle memory, right?
I feel like, or what do you mean? Like music production's all about understanding? I guess so. But then like, I feel like it's kind of like muscle memory too, but not muscle memory. It's like mental memory, right? Like you practice for hours and hours and hours, and then you just know what to do. Like you think, oh, like I need this, my sound needs like more like a clickiness. So like I know how to give it a clickiness. And there's like 10 different ways you could do that. Yeah. But you just know whatever way this that is the works.
Fastest way that I
know. And like that's another problem I have with like watching the YouTube tutorials is like the thing that annoys me the most is you see these kids that are like they're like 17 years old, like these Dutch kids, and they're like making hits already because they produce for like ages and ages, but like they can't explain anything technically, right? It's just like, oh, I just do this and I do this and it sounds cool. Yeah. And that's what I do every time. And you're like, well, I can't, if I just do that, I'm just copying you. There's no like rhyme or reason to that. And it's like, well, that's just what I do. And that's my sound. And it's
but like, I think it helps that you have a programming mindset too, because then you're like diagnosing and like, what's the reason behind doing it? Where they're just like, click the button and it makes it more busy.
Yeah, but like that's my whole point about music is like you don't need to be. It's like it's almost it's not necessarily anti-musical, but it's not necessarily musical to know all the aspects of production.
Yeah,
which I think is the disappointing part, right? Because you'd think if you just kept learning and you kept researching it for like ever and ever, you'd be the best music producer ever. But no, it's like you just need to practice making music. So it's like it's kind of like you can never get good at it the way you could get good at programming. Although programming is similar, you have to program to know how to program. But anyway, that long rant, I guess. But like,
I don't know about you, but I find that most music producers that I know happen to also be programmers.
Yeah,
like it seems to be not even a coincidence anymore. Like there's definitely a connection.
It's eerie. I hate that about the producers meetup is like everybody works in IT or programming.
Yeah, what's
and
up
it's
with
like,
that?
I'm like, oh, I thought this meetup would be like a really cool place to meet new people from like that I wouldn't normally meet.
Yeah.
But like, oh, it's just like I'm just like stuck in this community of people that work with computers, like and code and stuff like professionally, you know.
That would definitely surprise me. I didn't expect that, and that hasn't changed either. I thought that would be like a little variation, but no, it's definitely programmers do music producing.
But programming, that's another thing that makes me have fear for programming in the future. Is like programming is like such a job where like it's like pretty solid job, so like you can afford to have music gear, but then like you also have free time usually, like compared to most jobs like being a lawyer or something, you can't really
zero time.
You don't have time to do that, right? So like I think programming kind of fits. It's kind of like the perfect, not perfect, but it's like a good day job for doing other stuff.
Yeah,
and it happens to be a lot of people like music. Maybe because you need to get good at programming, you need to be kind of like, you need to be able to absorb a lot of information and kind of keep doing something over and over again. And maybe music's similar.
Why is there such a strong connection? It seems uncannily. Like I think
maybe it's just it's kind of like you need to be sort of like just nerdy about a certain thing and like be able to just keep doing it again and again and learning more and more. I don't know.
Like in other fields, I think it's not quite the same. Like Photoshop, that's the same gender-wise. There's no difference in that. But you can get pretty nerdy in Photoshop.
Yeah. There's a lot of like graphic designer.
I would have thought they'd be like similar
as well. Yeah, I'd say there is, right? Like there's like some people like I forget what the person's name is, but from the city I'm from, London, Ontario, there's like a producer who does all his own graphic design, and that's what his job was before he was a producer.
Oh, I bet he's great.
And like Deadmau5, I think he was like a web developer, but I think he also did graphic design as well. I think he's like designer developer kind of thing.
I can see that. That seems reasonable.
So I think it's similar, but I don't know the whole programming thing. It's just, are we all going to be programmers in 10 years? Like
that's the only. Well, I guess realistically, you're going to eliminate the manual jobs bit by bit, right? Like that's going to phase out more and more until you only have
until we automate the developers.
Well, you can't automate developers though.
Well, you have developers that teach the automation software how to code, right?
That's the thing. I don't think computers can create things though.
No, except it's not like that at all. It's just, but it's funny to imagine. But like, AI is pretty dumb right now. But who knows in 15 years? Like
even in the movies, you see, oh wow, this AI just built this company, and like that's never gonna happen in our lifetime. Yeah, like AI is just so far removed from building. Well, I don't know.
I don't know about like in 50 years, but right now, AI is pretty dumb. Like for like the way it's portrayed. Like if you weren't into tech at all and you think about AI, you're like, holy shit!
Whoa, we gotta take over.
AI is gonna like control our lives. It's like AI is like really stupid right now. It's gonna take a lot of innovation to get AI to be that smart.
Yeah, like you can do simple things like here's your website, but that's not like building a brand new idea.
Yeah. It seems like creative work is very challenging to make AI good at.
Did you look into any of the? Oh shoot, what's the name? It's like AI generated art, but you can like it. For example, you have AI tries to make people's faces. Have you seen any of those kind of things?
Maybe, not sure.
If I can remember the name. It only came out in like the last year, so like this is really recent. I think it was made by IBM. Let me see if I can find this on the website. I think it's IBM. IBM AI creating people's faces.
Something like that.
Oh, crap. No, I don't know. Is it maybe Tencent? No, I don't know. Anyway, so there's a software that came out, and essentially what it lets you do is you feed it like 2,000 photos of people's faces or whatever the object is that you want the AI to start creating. And once you've done this, the AI can then just spit out these images whenever you want. And they're like really good, like astoundingly good.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever seen those deep fake things, I think it's probably the same similar thing that's going on behind it. So it takes a huge amount of processing power, and you probably have to have like big computers or pay a lot of money, but like it's really good now. You can't really tell the difference at all.
Yeah, so like AI is like good in some ways, but it's not good.
It's
I don't
good
know.
at
I think
copying what already exists.
Yes, but it's like we haven't got to a point where we can just see. Like I think like if we get AI that can make music, it's not going to be like,
oh, that exists. AI. It just sucks.
It just sucks. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So like if AI can like make music for real, like music will be over at that point, right?
You think?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily ever going to happen, but I think if AI does get good enough to make like good original songs, then AI will have solved music, right? Because music has a set of rules, right?
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
Right? It's like all kind of rules based on like the relationships between notes and chords and like rhythms and stuff. And like there's only so many combinations of stuff. So like if AI is good enough to make a single good song, I think like AI would just render like making music obsolete. But then that's like,
have you looked
will it ever get there?
Have you looked at YouTube not. AI creates songs or recreates Skrillex song, or have you seen those?
I listened to some like AI Jay-Z song or something like that.
Yeah, have you seen those? Yeah.
And it was not very good. So. But it sounded like kind of like Jay-Z. I don't know.
Yeah,
they did like AI of the vocal inflections plus AI of the lyrics. And it was like interesting, but not good. So I don't know. I don't see it happening. But I think if it were to happen, it would be like we don't even need musicians anymore.
See, I don't buy that. I don't think that the issue is the lack of quality music. I think it's that when we think of music, we're thinking of the musician most of the time. Like I might hear a song and then I'm like, who is that person who made the song? I'm not thinking about what it sounds like as much.
Really? When you hear a song and be like, I love this song.
I love the song. It doesn't matter
who made it. But you like it because it's a good song.
But if the song name was Barcode, it would have less meaning to me. Like there's always meaning involved somewhere, and that meaning has to come from something. I don't think an AI can give you meaning.
Maybe I think about music differently because, like, I don't think the name of a song matters. I'm not really big on like lyrics either. Like I like writing lyrics, and I like good lyrics, but like I don't really listen to lyrics very much. I just like the rhythm and the chords and the melodies and stuff. And if that stuff's great, like I don't really care who made it. I'm gonna remember something that's like, oh, I really love how that sounded.
But I don't think I'd ever go to see a show where it's just an AI performing. Like I need to have
like that's even worse than DJing.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Like I need to have something there to cheer for that feels real.
Yeah, and like DJing's borderline is what I'm saying.
That's true. That is a little odd, isn't it? It is hard to get hyped up as a guy playing play, stop, add next track.
This is a whole another discussion, I guess, but like my thing about DJing, I think that's really I feel like I'm really negative about all this stuff, but I actually really love every topic we've talked about. I just have lots of opinions.
We love it so much that we find things we dislike about it. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Because all the stuff we love is like, it feels like it's obvious. But like the DJing, I feel like DJing kind of sucks because like, it's only impressive if you don't understand how it works.
Yes. Once you know, like, oh, that really easy.
Yeah. That part about DJing, I think is kind of whack. But the cool part about DJing, I think when you're a big time artist is when you can play a set with loads of tracks you haven't released. I think that's the cool part about DJing for big artists. But then I can't do that because I barely finish tracks to release as it is. So I'm like all my unfinished. Well, that's not true. Like I'll play lots of unfinished tracks and stuff in my sets, but like, I'll play them so many times that they might as well be it won't be like I have fresh tracks every time.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. Like, I think the dream would be you play a few festivals. Like, you don't play 200 shows a year like some of those dudes do. You play like a few dozen, but every show you have new original music that you haven't released.
Then I think that would be the coolest. You're not just there for the money then. You're there for other reasons.
Well, you're trying to put on like the best show in the world, basically, that a DJ can do. I mean, you can do that other ways. Like, deadmau5 has all the visuals and stuff. And like, maybe you could have that too. But like, I think that would be,
I want the visuals.
That would be sick. I think it would be sick to have the visuals regardless, but I also think it would be like people would like feel like they really, they got their money's worth, right? They heard a track you couldn't have heard anywhere else at that period in time.
Yeah, there's something special about something new. Somehow when it's a year old, it doesn't seem special, but I don't know why that is. Somehow new makes it better.
That's why it doesn't make sense to me. Like if you go see a DJ and you want them to play the hits, it's kind of like, but like it makes sense to people who don't DJ. But to me, it's like, well, you can listen to that at home,
Like maybe one or two hits.
Wouldn't you rather hear like my bootleg remix that's never been released and like tracks that are gonna be on my next album that I haven't finished yet? Like that. Yeah. That's why I would want to see a DJ. And I don't know. I guess just like the atmosphere of like a club or a festival is cool too. But
would you like seeing live shows, like actually performers?
What's that?
Well, do you ever go see like Bruno Mars or I don't know?
Yeah, I've seen some like rappers. I saw Travis Scott a year or two ago.
But that's like really a whole different vibe. You get the whole presentation. It's exciting. They're dancing, interacting with the audience.
I enjoy that more than like going to see a DJ these days. Yeah. Like I loved when I was learning how to make music, I was learning how to DJ. I loved like going to concerts. I like would go see any DJ, especially because I lived in cities where now that I live in Toronto, it's a totally different story. But I used to live in like London, Ontario, and Halifax, where there's not a lot of DJs coming to play in your city. So like when one comes, you're like, yo, I gotta go see this DJ.
Yeah.
Because it's so crazy, right?
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. But like now I live in Toronto. I know people who produce and DJ and like there's loads of content. You can see anybody live pretty much. So I don't know. DJing, I guess I've kind of become jaded with seeing DJs perform live. There's probably some people I would love to see live, like certain artists, but any artist.
I gotta have visuals.
I would have went and seen any like EDM artists back in the day, but like now I would only go see the artists I really, really love. Like I would go see, I don't know, like Don Diablo or Laidback Luke or I don't know, somebody maybe like Martin Garrix or somebody would be really cool.
Yeah.
But
that's because there's going to be a whole thing behind it. It's not just a guy DJing. There's a whole theatrical experience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Or I think it'd just be cool, like to see somebody like Don Diablo. Like I just love his music so much. So like,
yeah, that would be cool.
It'd be fun. But I prefer definitely seeing more like bands or like rappers sometimes. But like rappers, a lot of them are really horrible live. Like it's as bad as going to see a DJ. So like no disrespect to people who rap, but I'm just saying like some rappers, they just don't have a good live performance. And then some pop singers, the same deal, right? Like they don't even try. Like it's like what we're talking about with the DJs always having fresh new music versus like DJs that maybe some DJs tour and don't even play their own music for most of their set.
That's
right?
A lot, isn't
it? It's like two sides of the spectrum where like you're touring, you're really popular because of your studio releases or your reputation or whatever. And like, you're cashing in on that. And then the other side is like, oh, you're trying to like make the best show that anyone can see. So like, I don't know. I think like, yeah, I'm more interested in seeing this side of the equation, like that side of the equation than like the, just whoever is coming that I like. But,
you want to make your own show, make it personalized. Let's assume that you took this and they're like, this is the thing. I'm going to only focus on DJing. What kind of thing would you do in your show?
Yeah, that was always my thing. I thought if I was doing music full time, I would try to have new music every single show. Some new song, right?
Yeah,
like if it's a bootleg or if it's a remix of one of my own songs or something that's never been heard before. I'd want one thing, and you could always do that on like, I don't know, in a couple hours, right? Make an edit of something.
Sure.
Like not necessarily a brand new track, but you find some old track, you just slap a mastering chain on it, or you make a bootleg or whatever, and you'd always have something new, which I'm not doing currently, but I want to do that at some point. The visuals is a good thing. The only thing I would say is like,
what would you do visualize?
I don't know. I need to figure out a visual solution for myself, but one thing I don't like at the festivals and stuff is like all the artists have visuals and they kind of become like, a lot of them are not very original, right? They'll have like some kind of trippy visual or like something that's looks cool, but it's like not really signature to them, or it's not really like special. Whereas like somebody like Dylan Francis, like he has like funny visuals that go with the music, and like that's awesome. It's like a whole different experience, right?
Yeah,
seeing that. Cool. So like I would want something that's like unique, I guess, to me, but like not just cool, like, oh, there's flashing lights. It's like, oh, like that's like really entertaining, or it has a different meaning. Like I think like Above and Beyond, they also have like some really good visuals.
That would be amazing. Well, Above and Beyond's got such great stuff. Jeez.
Yeah, they're just great in general. Man. But
did you see their acoustic?
Yeah, I've listened to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, anything, but yeah.
Oh, that's such a great show. I don't know about watching, but just this, I don't know, the acoustic tracks of everything was fantastic.
Yeah. That's because they have great songs. Like, you can't.
Yeah, but a lot of EDM artists, I don't know, they don't translate as well into acoustic wise, but they pulled it off.
Well, like, not every Skrillex song would make a good acoustic song, you know? Some of them would, but some of them wouldn't.
Dubstep, yeah.
But then, like, Above and Beyond, it's like really melodic and all about the melody and stuff, right?
So I guess they got the whole. Like, they're a band, though. I guess that's the difference.
Above and Beyond? No, they're just two guys, like two producers.
Oh.
So I guess they probably had a band for the
I assume like what the live show was always the group of people.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I thought they just DJ. I've never seen them live, but that's what I thought.
Check it out. It's so good. It's on YouTube. Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know. Anything else you want to talk
about? No, we've been going for a while, right?
Yeah, we've been going for a while.
We should do this again.
Sure, I'm down. We still haven't collaborated on a track that we actually completed. Gotta do that too.
I'm like not completing my own tracks at the moment, but I can try and start something collaborative with.
If you send it to me, I will actually finish it. The only thing is you have to send it to me in stems because I don't have anything you have unless it's.
Well, we can use FL Studio.
Yeah, you can. You still.
Well, yeah, but then the plugins is always a problem.
Well, I guess we have to agree on the plugins ahead of time, which we could do. That's all right.
Yeah, or I don't know. Maybe like stems is better. I don't know.
Yeah, how would we do it? Because I mean, that was the problem I had with Alex. We tried to collaborate on a track. We both used FL Studio. We still couldn't get it to work because we had slightly different plugins and everything was messed up.
And FL Studio's, it's hard to freeze and bounce stuff, right? Maybe not hard, but it's harder than Logic for sure.
It might have to be a scenario where it's like one guy comes up with all the melodies and arrangement, and then one guy decides what plugins to use. It might have to be one of those.
You send me the MIDI, and I'll pick the presets.
So that's what I mean. I one guy will send like samples and MIDI notes. One guy will choose the synths. One guy then can do.
We should probably just do FL Studio, but like record everything after we finish it.
Just always stems back and forth.
Yeah, and then whatever we have on the master or whatever, like just use the stock plugins until we actually master it.
Yeah, I guess we could do that. We only use stock plugins until we're almost
for Ableton,
done.
I almost always use stock plugins.
Yeah, actually. We could do that. Yeah, that would work fine. That would work fine. We just only.
Would you use like plugins. the EQ2 or whatever?
I actually like EQ too. I enjoy that one. I don't know why people hate that.
I think Ableton, I use mostly the stock plugins. The only things I'm using is like, I use this plugin for soft clipping. I use that instead of compression. And then
I use Massive for everything.
Oh yeah, I use Serum for everything, but I have Massive. So if you use Massive, I can open it. You have Serum too, right?
I have your Serum, but I have like the old
version.
You have
my Serum.
I can't update it.
Oh, okay.
In order to update, you have to log in. I can't do that, so I have to use the old one. But it's fine because it's good enough for most things.
Yeah.
No, we can use stock plugins plus Massive.
Yeah, I guess if we use a third party, just record it. But I have all the native instrument stuff, so you can.
Oh, you have all native. I've got all the native instrument stuff. Okay, well then we're good. I mean, you don't need more than that. That's enough.
Yeah, I use some weird plugins. Like I use the Kickstart plugin. I don't know if you know that one.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I use that all the time. What else?
Native instruments. I have all the Isotope stuff. I don't know if you use those.
No, I don't really use Isotope.
Oh, okay.
I just have RX, but I never use it.
Yeah, no. I use.
I just use the Ableton stock stuff mostly, and then I use like some FabFilter plugins sometimes.
No, I don't have any of those.
Just the EQ and the limiter.
I have all the autotune stuff.
That's cool. I don't have autotune.
Like every plugin they made, I have all of them.
I have a Waves plugin.
I have a few of those, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think stick with stock plugins plus native instrument stuff, and that's more than enough.
I used to be like big plugin guy, and now I'm like not so much anymore.
When you buy all the things, and you're like, I'm going to use my favorite ones every time.
Well, the thing about Ableton Live is the native, like the stock plugins, they have the UI is different for them, right? Like, let me show you. I'm like, I mean, obviously, audio podcast. This is gonna. Oh, you've disabled screen sharing, but audio podcast is maybe does not translate. But anyway,
I can undisable it. Let me see. How do I do that?
Okay, I'll try and be descriptive for the audio listeners.
Who can share all participants? Who can start sharing when someone else sharing all participants?
Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Yeah. So like here in Ableton Live, like if I go
here, man, it's so much uglier than FL Studio.
So ugly, but I think it looks cool, but a lot of people think it's ugly. So like the like a plugin, like regular third-party plugins, you open like this.
Oh, you got Endless Smile. That one's so cool.
Yeah, and then but the like a stock plugin, so like the channel EQ here, you don't have to open it in a new window. It's just here.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's honestly like that's reason enough to just use the stock plugins because you don't have to open windows. You just use them. So like unless you really like a third-party plugin, why wouldn't you just use these handy little devices that are right here in the channel strip?
Yeah, that's kind of cool. You can just easily see everything all at once. That's the one thing that's not too convenient by FL. You always have to
like the
go and open it up individually one by one.
Yeah. But like even looking at this track, like there's not much, not using a lot, I'm just using like basic stuff like EQs, utility, filter.
Yeah.
Like frequency shifter. Yeah, I just be using the stock stuff, neither DAW. So
cool.
We'll do it. We'll create a FL Studio.
Yeah.
Project and work on
I think it should be fine. That should be good. Just as long as we stick with native instrument and stock, and maybe Kickstart, then we're good. Just don't send anything else, and then otherwise we'll be running into troubles. No, I'm down to do that whenever.
We just need a track idea.
Oh, I have lots of I got lots of vocals too.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like
so,
acapellas or like
both.
Somebody sent it to you.
There's that as well. I have like a list of vocalists who may or may not be reliable, but I have them. I have their contact info.
How about we try and do something with a vocalist?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always trying to do stuff with vocalists anyway, so sure.
I mean, the difficulty might grow exponentially the more people you include in the collaboration of getting things done.
So what?
But
that's fine.
I think it would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I have I have lots of people, and some of them are great singers. I just don't know how reliable they are, but they can sing, and they're really good at it. Yeah.
I like writing lyrics if we want to.
Okay. Yeah, I find that a lot of singers really, they struggle with that. They think they can do it.
I read a book on it. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
It. Yeah.
Is it good?
Have you read that one? It's like, or maybe I'm saying that one, like, obviously.
I don't know this one.
What other book could it be? But
it's only one, obviously.
No, it's called Writing Better Lyrics.
Oh, no, I don't know anything about it.
It's pretty good. It's kind of annoying because the author is like singer-songwriter style, and they have a certain, like, the way they talk is just kind of like, it doesn't seem like a young person talking. It's that's the way I'll put it, I guess. But like, it's like John Mayer, I think he said like this book changed how he writes songs and stuff like that. But it's like more for like, it's the author's coming from the perspective of somebody like who writes songs like John Mayer, not somebody who makes dance tracks. But the stuff's all really useful. Like I was reading there's a chapter on rhyming, and then I read the chapter about rhyming, and I was like, I understand the Migos now. Like the rap music makes more sense to me because of how the chapter on rhyming, even though it's like a book about how to make singer-songwriter music.
Send me a link to this book. I'm going to check this out.
Yeah, sure.
Damn. Yeah, I don't really know how you could do it easily. I only know the long, painful way, and half the time it ends up cringy.
I think there's just like some kind of, I put in the chat. There's some kind of like, I guess, I don't know. You like it does kind of end up cringy sometimes, but like there's like a few like ways you learn about how the narrative is supposed to work. Like nobody wants to listen to your singer. Like there's certain ways, like your singer, for instance, like they should be kind of the person you're telling the story about. Yeah. Nobody wants the story that's like depressing, right? For pop music, like you don't want to just be like, there's some genres it works, but like very few, right? Where like the person in your story is the loser, right? Your person in the story has to be like, or they learn something or they achieve something happens that's like, oh cool, that's great. And then there's other stuff about like talking in the second person, like, so like if I were to say something like in a song where something like, imagine it's like a love song or something, I'll say like you always love me or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that doesn't make any sense because the person you're talking to, if they know that, why would you tell them that? It's kind of like it's the whole book is stuff like that, and you're just like, oh yeah, it makes sense. And then when you avoid doing you avoid those like kind of cliches and stuff, whether it comes to like rhyming or like kind of narrative, and then like you also structure, like you have to structure the lyrics the way you structure the song, right? Like when you make a track, you've got like the intro, the first drop, the break, the second drop, and the outro or whatever. And you want the first drop and the second drop, like something different has to happen, right?
Yeah.
And then the break has to kind of do something different as well. Like you want the lyric to be like, first verse is going to introduce something. The chorus is going to like reinforce the entire idea. And then the second verse is going to like change what you know about the story from the first verse. And then the second chorus, it could be the same or it could be slightly different, but it's going to like reinforce the theme again. But like each verse is like a progression. And like if you're imagining your song has 3 verses, your first verse would like introduce the setting. The second verse would like kind of change everything you know about the story and kind of leave you unsettled. And then the third verse would kind of give you, it would be like the culmination, of everything that happened.
It's like writing a short story for a novel.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So like I'm not an expert, but I've read like 2/3 of this book, and it made a lot more sense to me after reading that.
I gotta check this out. Not James Patterson. Let's go again. Patterson. Pat Patterson. Writing Better Lyrics Patterson, the essential guide to powerful songwriting. Cool. I'm gonna check this out for sure. Hope they got it in the. Oh, it's on Amazon. Okay, nice.
Are you gonna get the real book? if you get it.
Maybe.
It's so fun. It's the real books are funny to me because I don't get real books anymore. I only get the electronic versions.
I don't like ebooks. See, that's why I've got this stack of books over at my place. I don't finish them if they're ebooks. Like, I'll actually finish a hardcover or a paperback. I will go from beginning. I'll do the end. I'll get to it.
It seems so wasteful. I don't know.
But with an ebook, do you ever finish it? Like, actually go all the way through?
Yeah. But I don't read books very much.
See, there you go.
So if I was reading an electronic book, it'd have to be a book I really want to read.
There you go. Now, I'll pick up a book and so, but I'll get through it.
But I like it. I can read it. I can read it while I'm working out. I can read it while I'm on the bus. I don't have to
read this on the bus.
I guess, but you have to carry this book with you. Whereas I'd already have my computer with me or my phone.
But if you like, I don't know about but when you're in the bus, you're constantly moving from one to the other. That means you have to keep opening up the laptop and closing it again. And
or you have it on your phone, right?
Can I read like this? Got to go through an entire book like that?
Yeah, just read like this.
You go through 500 pages, double several times that on this.
I don't know. It's just like reading. Imagine you had imagine you're reading a wall of text, like an article.
Yeah, but I don't know. I get tired when I do those. I read a tremendous amount.
Different strokes.
I read a tremendous amount of books. I think that helps as well. But I read pretty quickly. I don't know if you're doing electronic things. I just go like that after a while. But I guess it's because I spend 8 hours a day staring at a screen already. Like I want those few minutes away from the screen to be not screen time.
Yeah, weird how neither of us wear glasses.
I kind of do.
You wear glasses? Oh, okay.
Kind of. I need them to drive.
Well, speak for myself, I guess.
But I don't use them anywhere else. And that's I don't like, even if it's slightly fuzzy, I would prefer that. I like the idea that it's all me. I don't know. That might change when I go blind someday, but
I'm assuming I'm just gonna go blind any day now. Because I spend 12 hours a day.
You spend 12 hours a day staring at this square,
at this tiny little book.
I don't understand how sometimes people just never have bad eyesight, and some people do. It doesn't seem to be obvious what causes it.
I feel bad for the people that have bad eyesight because, I don't deserve this.
What caused it? I don't know. We're all staring at the same thing nowadays. The screen, drive to the next screen, repeat. That's your. Well,
I mean, in normal times you could go hang out with people, but now it's a lot of screens.
You go to the person's house, and what you do? You play video games.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Or in our case, we collaborate in music, and then we look at screens. All right.
Want to wrap up?
Yeah, let's wrap this one up. Let's work on a track sometime though.
Let's do it.
Cool. All right. Anyone who happens to still be awake, this has been Tag.
Thanks for having me, man.